Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. I just ordered their apple cider and vinegar gummies, and I'm excited to try them. If you are looking for a high quality, all natural health and wellness product, Bubs Naturals is a great option. The company offers a wide variety of items that are designed to improve overall health and well being. So go check them out and remember to use our code DSP20 when you check out. And with that, let's get into the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We back
Howdy.
again.
We back.
All right, so I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz, and then
That's
we
me.
have our mental health practitioner of the show, Dom.
Hello.
Hello. And this is the Different Spectrums podcast.
Yeah, we back again. How do you want to say it real loud, Dom?
You can do your thing. Calm the fuck down. All right?
Yeah, let her do it.
You can do it. I want him to love me after this, so.
Give me a second. All right, both of you, just give me a second. This is a show where we talk about movies, shows, and mental health. So, and we also have some laughs. So don't take us too serious. Also, don't forget to run up those likes. All right. So first of all, check out our link tree, and then check out our Google Drive, where there are free apps, worksheets, all that stuff that you can take a look at. Take a look. Yeah, heal yourself.
Get some healing.
And if you do check out the Google Drive, please leave us a tip. Nas took a long time to put that together, so we'd appreciate it if you'd, compensate for the time.
$1 at me. Don't mad me.
All right, now you both can get into whatever right now.
After you, sir. Doctor.
Doctor.
Oh, doctor. I bought a frame for that fucking diploma. That shit was $300.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Money well spent.
Yeah, it's gonna look very gorgeous. It's very neurodivergent. So
I have my diploma in my closet somewhere. Don't know where. Don't care.
Introduce some scenes.
All right. So today we're taking a look again. This is the third and last part of Ted Lasso, the finale, just like the show. Never talk about it again. Yep. Never.
It's done. Fuck those guys.
So we're going to be taking a look at a total of 6 scenes today. 6 scenes.
So many.
Yes, I know.
It's just never getting cleared.
Nope. Might as well not even do this show because they'll never see it.
Bye.
The podcast side will, not YouTube. Podcast will, YouTube won't.
Oh, there you go. So first scene we're taking a look at is with Jamie's dad. Then we're going to be taking a look at Sam rejecting Edwin for the African League. Third scene, we're going to be looking at Roy telling his story about one of his old teammates and a baby. And then fourth scene, Colin being accepted by Isaac. Maybe look into that. Next up, Roy becoming a diamond dog. The dog. It's like if a dog missed its upper lip. Like, didn't have it anymore. Yeah. And then finally, Rebecca telling off the owners and, kind of telling them, hey, y'all need to remember that you love this sport. You love it.
And stop being dicks.
Yeah.
Stop being a dick.
Stop being a piece of shit.
Ant-Man, Quantumania. What a lovely movie that was.
Yeah.
Stop being a dick. He's like, fine. I guess I will.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Somebody just had to tell me that.
That's it.
So yeah. So we're gonna be taking a look at all those scenes. We're gonna be talking about so many things.
So many. Today's a long pod, people. Long pod.
Yeah. Oh God. Let's see here. Anything before we get into the show?
Take your bathroom break now. You get it now. Get you a sandwich. Start unloading the groceries. Do whatever you got to do. Right. Start putting the kids to sleep, but do something. You're gonna be doing something while listening to this pod. You're not just gonna be. This is multi-session, multi-generational pod.
This is like the Oppenheimer of podcasts right now.
Yeah, this is
like
gonna be a long one.
3.5 hours long for no reason.
Yep, I'm gonna take a nap halfway through. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna be good. Really excited to get through some of the material here, and then I mean this with all the love in the world. We're gonna play what we call neurodivergent bingo. Yes.
Are we?
Yep.
No, I didn't agree to that.
Yeah,
no one that's what we're gonna do.
You didn't say a thing.
What kind of time do you think I have?
You got plenty of time.
Jesus Christ.
You're going to fail.
Already freaking out about her assignment. You're just like, well, you're staying on forever.
Yeah, neurodivergent bingo. All right. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. Woody whoop.
Woo whoop.
Whoop whoop. We won't.
Mr. Tart, you have a visitor. It says he's your father. Yeah.
Are you decent? I told you, Rick. Oh, gentlemen. Oh. Hey, it's a tough one, lads. Yeah, it's a tough one, but no shame to it. Because, we only ever be everybody we play. So you pups had no chance. Oh, and there he is, my son. My own flesh and blood. Poor Jamie, my son. Now, maybe I'm thinking his heart's still in Manchester, and that's why he missed that sitter in the first half. Oh. Woo! Were you absolutely baldy? You're baldy. What were you thinking? Oh, I'm only kidding, eh? Hey, look, do us a favour and get them born bug past security. They want to go on the pitch, take a few snaps and all that, yeah?
Rather him not.
Yeah, they just want to look around. It'll only take a second.
I'd rather him not.
What? Well, you can all go little moody bitch just because you got your ass served to you on a plate, are you?
Don't speak to me like that. Huh? Don't speak to me like that. Don't speak to me like that.
Okay, well, let's see if you can hear this. You know that ickle TV show you made? You just made it easier for Manchester City to kick you to the curb. And look where you are now. Twaddling about with a bunch of amateurs. No offence, no offence. Huh? Don't turn your back on me, you pussy. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can have that one for free. You gotta go big time. Hey, let's have it, Jamie. Don't you forget where you came from. Watch the door.
Oops.
Watch out now, take up your word, it's swinging. Dropping all around you. The pain that often mingles in your fingertips.
Sam! Hey, Sam! Oh, excellent performance. Yeah, the goal, of course, speaks for itself, yeah, but your tactical discipline, hey, they are certainly going to miss you around here.
Mr. Akufo, I truly enjoyed meeting you. And I'm so flattered by your offer. I'm sorry, but my answer is no thank you. And I don't believe my time here at Richmond is over. And for that reason, I have to stay. I hope you can understand.
You Nigerian motherfucker!
Whoa.
You Yoruba trash! Who the fuck do you think you are wasting my time? You medium talent piece of shit.
Medium talent?
I will dedicate my life to destroying you, you fucking asshole. You will never play on the Nigerian national team. Do you understand me, Pinky Dick? Never. I will buy your childhood home, and I will take a shit in every room, and then I will burn the place down. Yeah, then I will sit there and I'll eat kenke and I'll poop on the fucking ashes. I promise you this.
Okay.
I will never forget this disrespect. Fuck you, Sam Obasaya. Come on there. Quasia.
Yeah, all right. You got me today. Any questions? Fucking hell. You, 5 o'clock Shadowhead.
Coach Kent, do you or the organisation condone what Isaac McAdoo did today?
What a stupid fucking question. Of course we don't. What Isaac did was awful. He was lucky he only got a red card.
OK, so why did he do it?
When I was first coming up through Sunderland, there was an old-timer on the team, local guy. He and his wife were about to have their first kid, so during training one day, I made a joke that statistically, I was probably the real dad. And the boys fell about laughing, but he went fucking nuts. He battered me, properly. I had a black eye, chipped tooth, 3 broken ribs. I couldn't play for 6 games. He got booted off the team. After that, no club would go near him. Then in the summer, after I could breathe again, I bumped into him in a pub and I got the chance to say sorry for my stupid fucking joke. And he got to tell me he and his wife had lost the baby a month before all that went down. He hadn't told anyone. Kept it all inside. Look, I get that some people think if they buy a ticket, they've got the right to yell whatever abusive shit they want at footballers. But they're not just footballers. They're also people. And none of us know what is going on in each other's lives. So for Isaac to do what he did today, even though it was wrong, I give him love. And as for why he did what he did, that's none of my fucking business. Next question. Yeah, you, Trent.
Coach, let's talk about Colin Hughes.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player and a great man. I think we've underused him.
I think you're right.
Glad we agree. I prefer you to old Trent. Next question. You, Goblin.
lied to me. For years. What is it about me that made you think you couldn't tell me?
No, it was nothing to do with you. It was about me. I was 99% sure that you'd support me. But the 1% chance that you wouldn't, it scared the shit out of me.
I don't know how you did it. Can't keep a secret for shit.
I know. Another reason I didn't tell you. I mean, I hid it from people for years, and the second you find out, I didn't last a month.
I'm sorry, bruv. You're gonna tell everyone now?
No. The team knows. That's enough for me.
And no one's gonna say shit. I promise.
You want to come in?
It's my
Yeah, right.
world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide it.
Is top or bottom sex positions or sleep arrangements?
Sexual positions. Unless bunk beds are involved, then it's both.
Would you ever shag a woman?
No, I'm gay.
I know, but what if you had to?
1967, Raquel Welch.
My man. Who's the fittest guy on the team?
I won't tell you, and you'd never guess.
Bumper catch.
Yes.
What about team showers? How does that work?
I keep my head down and I think of global warming.
Yeah, but if I had to shower with a bunch of girls all the time, I'd defo get bonus.
I love you, boyo. You can't say it, can you?
No. But you know I do, yeah?
Can I be a diamond dog?
Okay, hold on a second here. Wait.
What the fuck are you doing?
I assume we're all looking for cameras because we think we're on a prank show.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around here.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Diamond Dogs, mount up. Let's go. Okay, Mr. Roy Kent, bark away, please.
For the past year, I have busted my fucking ass trying to change. But apparently I haven't done fucking shit, because I'm still me.
Wait, did you want to be someone else?
Yeah. Someone better. Can people change?
I don't think we change per se, as much as we just learn to accept who we've always been.
Oh, no, I think people can change if they can. You know, sometimes for the worse, and sometimes for the better.
Not me, I'm still the same fucking idiot I've always been.
Agree to disagree, big guy. No, I mean, come on, man. You just piped up out of nowhere and finally asked to become a diamond dog. Pretty big change, if you ask me, right, fellas?
Yep. Change isn't about trying to be perfect. Perfection sucks. Perfect is boring.
I mean, except Shawshank. That's not boring.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, they're perfect films.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Back to the Future.
Jaws.
Yes.
Jaws.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say Trent's hair is perfect.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Not at all boring.
Sure, you know, attributes. Grace Kelly's eyes.
The other side of the pillow.
That is absolutely perfect.
There are perfect analogies.
Jacket potato, cheese and beans.
That sounds perfectly yummy. Yeah.
Perfect foods. Spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
Billy Joel's The Stranger album.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yes, they are perfect works of art. Their perfection is all around us, everywhere we look. The Mighty Redwood.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about perfection in people.
Sure. Human beings never going to be perfect, Roy. The best we can do is to keep asking for help and accepting it when you can. And if you keep on doing that, you'll always be moving towards better.
Add that right there to our list of perfect stuff. Ding, ding, ding.
All right. Thank you. Ruff, ruff. Anyone else want to go?
I've got a girlfriend. Her name is Jade, and she actually is perfect.
You're on. Good stuff. So this has got some value.
Well, makes sense to me. I'm in.
No problem.
Wonderful.
Good stuff.
Rebecca, what do you think?
Is this a fucking joke?
Excuse me?
What do you think you're doing? Just stop it. I mean, how much more money do any of you really need? Why would you ever consider taking something away from people that means so much to them? This isn't a game. Football isn't just a game.
England dominating, no surprise.
It's one of those amazing things in life that can make you feel shit one moment.
You'd expect Southgate to be looking his best right now, and we're doing our substitution. AFC Richmond's Jamie Tarr winning his first cap for England. An unforgettable moment and well earned.
And then, like it's Christmas morning the next.
Tarr wearing 24, the nod to his Richmond teammate, the spectacular Samuel Bissania.
It has the ability to make heroes and villains out of ordinary men. People love this game. My father loved this game. You all used to love this game. I'm sure of it. I knew this little boy, working class, from Richmond. And he loved football so much. He used to sneak into the matches because his family just couldn't afford the tickets. And one afternoon, he finally got caught. And the security guard smacked him round the face, knocked him on the ground. But that little boy stood up, smiled, kicked the security guard in the bollocks and ran away, never to return. until 25 years later when he walked in and bought the entire club. And on his first day as owner, he went and found that same security guard and gave him a pay rise without any explanation. Just because we own these teams doesn't mean they belong to us. And I don't want to be part of something that could possibly destroy this beautiful game. Because I would hate for all those little kids and grown-ups out there to ever lose access to that beautiful, passionate part of themselves.
What a lovely speech. Now, who wants to make a lot of money? Eh?
All right, and we're back. We're back.
We're back. We're live. And Dom, how live are we? How live are we?
Barely alive.
Okay. Wow.
Well, that was sad.
That just got depressing real quick.
Hugs.
Which sets up our first scene for the show. All right. Nice transition there.
Ain't nothing wrong with you.
We just
Suck
watched
it
the first scene. No. We're not doing this. We got to get through these.
Yep.
First scene. Jamie Tartt's dad. All right. So Richmond just lost to Manchester. And so that was one of the big games where Jamie came back to Manchester after leaving the team, or pretty much getting fired from it.
Yep.
And then we know that Jamie and his dad have very turmoil relationship. It's very, very surrounded in turmoil there. Pretty sure he's on drugs / alcohol, possibly.
On the juice.
On something. And so Jamie's dad comes in gloating about Manchester winning, especially to the losing team. That's pretty ballsy. Pretty ballsy. I know for sure that would not fly in the NFL.
No.
Being a little nice there. I don't care whose dad it is. Doesn't matter.
No. Yeah, you're not
Getting
coming.
your ass whooped. But yeah, so then and then we see the fight that rings out between Jamie and his dad. Jamie punches his dad in the face after Jamie kind of denied him and his friends from going on the pitch. And and then Roy comes over real quick without saying anything, of course, and gives him a big old hug. Big old hug.
Good little squeeze.
I'm there for you, son. I'm there for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the scene, and then that kind of leads into Ted talking about his father to his therapist that we covered in the last episode.
Correct. So if
All
anyone
ties
wants, part 2, which will release it's been released the week before. Check that out. We talk about literally this and Ted's dad issues and the death and the suicide and all that stuff. So check that out if you want to.
Yes. So what did everyone think when they first saw the scene? First go around. Dom.
Well, the first time I watched it, I don't remember. So I don't remember because we watched the first 2 seasons in like 4 days. So we kind of flew through it. Maybe we were in Duluth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's all kind of a blur. So watching it again, it reminded me what a dick Jamie's dad is, and probably one of the driving forces of Jamie doing so well in soccer, either trying to prove something to his dad or because he's so angry at his dad. It's like, I'm going to prove to you that I can be the best at this thing. I don't remember if they talked about Jamie's dad being super supportive in soccer or him being like, no, you're shit. Why would you do that? Was it that? Was it the second one?
I think he just wasn't around, honestly. And then once he got big, then he came back into his life, I'm pretty sure.
And then his dad got mad at him for like passing the ball and not being dominant. And that's when Jamie put on this personality of like dominance, masculinity. I'm going to murder everyone. Where he makes reference later on is I used to just love it because my mom just wanted me to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I don't even play the game anymore for any. I was playing it to go against my dad. It's a tough. Jamie's got a lot of shit.
He's got a lot of shit. So watching that, I could see the disappointment on his face. He was so embarrassed because it's in front of his team, and he probably was putting on this whole persona, and having his dad there brought him out of that persona. It's like looking at a little boy, and his dad is yelling at him about whatever the fuck he was yelling at him about. But I really liked that Jamie was able to create that boundary with his dad. It was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm here with my team. I'm not allowing you to invade this space and try to use my celebrity or athletic status to impress your little friends. And his dad for sure deserved that punch in the face. 100% deserved it.
And then get thrown to the door by Beard.
By Beard. He was like, oh, watch your face.
What's the door there?
Yep. Oops. I love Beard.
Yep.
It's great.
So, and with Roy coming up to give him for the swift hug, it made me think, without saying anything, it made me think that maybe Roy has his own complication with his dad and some daddy issues. So he's like, I get it. I've been there. He probably is whatever that relationship is. So I was like, wow, Roy, love him. Mm-hmm.
He ends up becoming like a secondary parent to Jamie anyways in the show. And in
his own way.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it did.
But before that, everything before that.
But even before that, Coach Ted was grooming him to start leading the team and mending the fences between those two knuckleheads. And then it was starting to, and then they shipped him off to Man City. Rebecca did. It's a whole different story plot line, but Jamie. Remember, I think it was maybe a couple episodes in. They're like, "Yeah, Jamie's a piece of shit," and it goes to Keely, like, "What does he respond to?" She's like, "Well, blowjobs." And he's like, "Anything else?" She's like, "Positive reinforcement." He's like, "Oh, I can do that." Yeah.
Yay. I don't need to put his dick in my mouth.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
I can be the backup.
Yeah, just in
let's
case.
play NC. So, and it's funny because he responds to really good positive affirmation in that moment, and then he immediately goes against it in the parking lot and freaks the fuck out, Jamie, because he feels himself like getting soft or used, which shows a very complex, very traumatized young boy. It's intense. What about you, Spence? What about you when you saw the scene?
It was a great part because I think that was kind of especially Jamie's turning point. Like throughout the season, he was, trying to be different and all that, but his teammates were very reluctant in him changing because they were like, was he just like messing with us? And then he'll go back to being his old self. I think that like this moment was where everybody knew like, oh shit, like he's messed up in the head. Like this is why he's always like kind of like how he is. And I found it just a great moment, especially like you said, kind of having like that mentorship or that mentor be right there for him in that moment. And I'm glad that he actually accepted it and, gave him a hug back instead of kind of just being like, I don't need you, man. I don't need you. I don't need nobody.
Which he could have went that way. I actually thought it was going to go that way, and it didn't.
Right. But hey, man, don't touch me like that.
Yep, I thought it was going to go that way, and nope, it went into a full-on embrace, and then a cry. That was a good cry too.
I bet if it was someone else, he would have been like, no, don't touch me. But because Roy is such a stoic, silent character, the fact that he's showing any kind of physical contact and any kind of emotional intelligence must have really impacted Jamie and was like, this is something that has to happen.
And I would also say that that's his hero too. Growing up, like Roy,
which we find out.
Yeah, that was his hero.
Yeah, with the poster.
Yeah, actually, he even said in the first season, he was like, "Yeah, man, I have your poster. Like I looked up to you and everything, and then you're just a dick." But you know, and then that's kind of the growth between like those two have really shown their own growth instead of Roy just being like this old guy who's kind of who's angry at the younger generation and their talent and stuff like that. He's actually embracing their talent and making sure, and that's what great coaches are. They're people that can embrace each player and make sure that they are, you know, being tended to in their own different ways. Right, like Jamie, he needs very positive / he needs some type of discipline, I think, also in his life, but it's like a well-structured discipline, not just yelling at him.
Yeah.
While, you know, other players kind of just, you can let them kind of be themselves because they know how to kind of set their own boundaries and stuff like that. So
yeah, they call them players coaches. So Roy is a player's coach because he is a player. And you see that trend in athletics these days through all sports. They're not just hiring these dudes that have been coaches their entire lives and their dad was. They're wanting to hire players as coaches now, and the players are responding better towards it. And a lot of players are demanding it instead of just hiring some like random dude, or in the NFL or NBA, instead of some random white dude. Like, hey man, you're going to hire someone that
coaches.
You got to hire players now. That's the new trend. Is player coaches.
I was in high school, all my coaches were, almost all the female coaches, they were previous gymnasts. And even like at my high school, they were gymnasts at my high school. So they kind of understood the mental dynamic that came with gymnastics and was able to walk us through that if we were struggling, which 9 times out of 10 we were, because gymnastics is rough. But it was cool that they were previous athletes because they understood the pressure.
And you didn't have to explain anything to them because they just knew the benefits of having a player coach or a therapist that was an athlete. Specific things, right? This is a very good visual. I wouldn't even say metaphor because it's legit just a very literal example of an abusive relationship with a father or parent or just a legal guardian that is an alcoholic. Or addicted to drugs, or just abusive emotionally, physically. And then also we find out later in episodes, seasons, that left his mom super early, and the mom seems to be awesome. So not only did he not have a dad, and then he finally comes back and he uses him. And so you see how grotesque it is. And then he wants his dad to look up, wants his dad to be proud of him. So Jamie changes his entire behavior and motto and life. It's really hard to not want your parents to be the person that you think they are, or the person that you want them to be. Most of my clients would be like, me and Spence talked about this in the last pod. I think love and hate, where you can love them and hate them. And focusing on the things, the qualities that you do like, and the other ones, you can hold them accountable and stuff like that. But we always have this image of what we want our parents to look like and what we want ourselves to look like in their eyes. Sometimes it doesn't come true. Sometimes it is what it is, and they're just not good. Sometimes I think we get to it later in here where they talk about acceptance in one of the scenes. Oh, it is. Kent, the reporter, brings it up in the Diamond Dogs. Sometimes it's about accepting those parts of us. Sometimes it's about accepting that, some people are just terrible and it is what it is. You can't change it. And it's not even about you not being enough or too much. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you. I feel sad for Jamie. I'm glad his story arc changed. And he got a lot of help, support, worked through a lot of his trauma, worked through his mom and dad issues at the end. Still working through his issues with women, but it looks like he's in healthy relationships and wanting love now. Yeah, we'll see if he dates Kaylee. I'm just so glad that they didn't have like a triangle thing and they all both dated her. I thought it was going that way.
Let's just split this up week by week.
Yeah. You get weekends and I get every other Wednesday? How do we do this?
Look, she's bi, but I don't think she's poly. All right. I
Yeah,
don't think she's going that route.
I was so glad. I knew it was going to go bad when they were like, you choose. It's like, of course you're going to choose, you dumbasses. Yeah. She's like, I get to choose? And then kicks them out. Jamie's story arc, I think, will be very relatable to many athletes with parent issues, pressure issues, performance issues, and then they'll get the yips. It's funny they bring up the yips in this TV series. They're like, don't say the word, because it's like a curse type of thing that you can just catch it. I think a lot of athletes will relate to this. These characters here, I don't believe those folks are neurodivergent. You will see a lot of neurodivergent folks with alcohol and drug issues, but Jamie doesn't show any traits of being neurodivergent. Shows some traits of having a personality disorder and tons of trauma, but no neurodivergence. The dad could be neurodivergent, but other than that, nothing in those two. We'll get into Roy Kent in a minute.
All right. Anything else on the scene?
We can go for a long time on a lot of these things, but we're going to kind of go through them. So yeah, let's get to Sam.
Okay. So next thing we watch, Sam is rejecting Edwin Akufu. There it is. Akufu. It's like, how did I write that? Okay. And then, so Edwin is like this billionaire, and he's from Ghana, and he's bringing like all these different players together to make this African league where it's all these different players from different African countries coming together to play soccer, right? And so throughout the episode, he's asking Sam, like, hey, I'll pay you a lot of money if you come to this team, because you have a lot of influence / you're young, talented, blah blah blah. And then throughout the whole episode, Sam's thinking about it, being like, oh, I could actually play with, like, you know, players that look like me, players that, you know, I can actually be at home when I play and things like that instead of being in England, and all that. But in the end, he finds, you know, he's like, this is the place for me, and I'm going to start putting my roots down in England. And then this is where it kind of, you know, he thinks about making his own restaurant and stuff that we see in the third season. And so Sam rejects Edwin, and Edwin does not take it well. He does not. He doesn't take rejection well. Yeah. He's a little out there. Well, out there. I thought maybe he'd be like, okay, bye, see you later. But nope, he freaked the fuck out. And tells that he's going to buy his childhood home, burn it down.
No, poop in every room first.
Oh, poop in every room first, burn it down, and then poop on it again.
Poop on the ashes.
Yeah, on the ashes. So did not take it well. And yeah, so that's pretty much the scene. I don't know where else I'm going to go with it.
I can take the lead here, and then I'll throw it to you too.
Yeah, you go for it.
So this one, 100%, I'm using it as a visual for when you set some boundaries. And people are like, okay. Or some people are like, okay, and no, I reject your boundaries, and we're running right through them. Fuck you. So those are very toxic individuals that probably don't respect you. If they have a full-on temper tantrum and meltdown like this, and you're Sam, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm really glad I didn't join your league, because you just exposed who you were, and I made the best choice in my entire life by avoiding you in this conglomerate. I think this is if we go back and look at the evolution of Sam, he has some big choices to do. I mean, does he join this team? Go back to Africa, be with his family, be like one of the pillars of this league, and then be on the Nigerian team? I mean, there was a lot. Go back to the home eating, get away from this white land that he's in. And then he chooses to maybe let's tie up some of these unfinished business, these loose ends here. And he says, this is when he technically is in love with Rebecca. He says it's not about Rebecca. He tells her later in the episode, or a couple episodes later, it's like, I did this for me. So Sam's story, specifically this scene, is good for drilling down on what you want, what you need. And then you would say, well, what if I made the wrong choice? Well, maybe you did, but in that exact moment with the data that you had, you made the best choice that you could. You think this is the right one, you do it. If it ends up being the wrong one in a month, a couple days, then you'll pivot and make a different choice. Well, that's quitting. Is it quitting, or is it taking a pivot, realizing that, oh man, this was terrible, let me go do something else? And immediately beneficence is paid. Sam is like, oh, so you're a legit piece of shit. I'm glad I know now. And now I guarantee you immediately all of Sam's anxiety went away. Because you immediately know you made the right choice. That's why I picked this scene. And it's hilarious. And I know people are going to like, the reel for this is just going to fly.
Yeah.
It's going to fly.
Yeah. I mean, you could always you could tell he was a dick because, first of all, he left his helicopter on the pitch. Like, just left
for
it
multiple
there.
days.
He was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gone. Bye. See you later. And then he like treated Ted like he was an asshole. I didn't like how he treated Ted. He was like, I don't need to listen to the white men. Like, all right, we got it.
Yep.
So you could tell he was going to be a dick no matter what.
Yep. All that money, boy. Your guys' thoughts on the scene, or your thoughts on making choices and then being anxious and then finding out immediately that it was good, or making choices and then thinking that you made the wrong one for like the next 5 years?
What did I do?
I have a little bit of both. For Sam, was his Edwin? I just was referring to him as rich guy. It was Sam turning down Edwin. He's just a rich bitch. Like, he is so entitled. It was crazy. And he was just, what did he call Sam? Like a mediocre footballer? And Sam was like, mediocre?
You mediocre piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just because Sam said no. And he's like, you know what? I want to build my roots here. It's like, it made me think of like when a girl decides to turn down a guy who's like, you know, I'm not super interested. Immediately, you're a bitch, you're a slut, you wasted my time, you're the worst person ever, you're not even that hot. Like, all of these things. Like, but like 2 minutes ago, like, I'm just, this is just not my jam. It's nothing against you, really. I'm just like, you know, not gonna take this further. Don't want to waste your time. It's been a pleasure. And then they're just going off, and it's crazy. And they're like Sam's reaction was like, okay, I'm glad I ended this sooner rather than later. Like, I'm sure many girls or many guys have thought when they reject someone that they're not super interested in, and then they go off because they think they're entitled to this, that, and the third. So
you're correct. I've actually also seen it with my students that are applying for jobs, and they'll get multiple offers, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to take this job. And they'll legit, the employer will crap on my students. Like, how dare you reject us? Do you know who we are?
The employer?
Yes, the employers, because we're talking about these tech industries and they always get their way. We're talking about like these Fortune 500 companies and they always get their way.
Yeah.
And thus, when we offer a job, how dare you reject us? And some of them have even been so derogatory to some of the women I work with. It was like, why is this? Because of your partner? Is you don't want to leave your man? And they're like, for one, I'm not going to disclose my relationship. And two, how dare you even assume that it's about my partner in general? It is wild on how some of these companies cannot take rejection. Like these very used to, very privileged folks are like, what? How dare you say no to me? It's like, you realize I can say no, right? Also very common if you get out of the relationships, you talk about just your supervisors and your bosses. And a lot of humans will take on things because we just started there. So we think we need to improve ourselves. Imposter syndrome. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing way too much shit here. But this isn't even in my job description. Then you say no. And every time I advise someone, they said, now they're going to fire me. I'm like, I can't. they're not gonna fire you because of this. You're like, you have no idea. Like, they're legit gonna fire me. It's like, whoa. So we need to start looking at some new job stuff because this is sus. It's amazing on how many of these employers are more like Rupert and Edwin. Rupert is right. The Mannion is the ex-owner, and then becomes the owner of Man City. No, Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham. Yeah, Ham. Yeah, it's wild. I've actually had many conversations with women, and how they are scared to reject some dudes. And they will give them the number or whatever, and it'll be like legit their number. I'm like, why would you do that? Because I legit don't want to die in a bar. It's like, okay.
And sometimes if the guy's like very particular, after you give them the number, they'll check while you're standing there, they'll call. So if you like give them the wrong number, they'll be like, why isn't your phone ringing? You give me the wrong number. So sometimes you like have to give them your real number. So then, I mean, you shouldn't have to, but you know, kind of like living. So give them the real number, see that it rings, it is your actual number, and then, you know, live, laugh, love.
Is this what happened with Spence? You had to give him the real number?
Right. Totally. Better give me them digits.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to escape since SOS.
I know.
That's right.
Blink, 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 blink.
Yep, that's right. You're in the room now.
Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah, that's right. Your furniture's looking real good.
And Dom, have you ever had the experience where someone set a boundary on you?
I don't think so. Or like maybe it's
Look at you.
We've talked about it in a sense where like I understand that boundary, and of course I'm gonna respect it. Like I'll do whatever you need to make you feel the most comfortable. But I feel like I try to be as respectful of the people in my life as I can. So if anything, like I'm the one checking in with them, making sure that I'm not doing anything to make them feel a certain way. But nothing stands out to me right now because the people I have in my life, it's just respect all around. So I've never had to worry about it. I can recall one time when I had to set a boundary and it just like wasn't working, and the dude kept breaking my boundary. It was my ex, and I was like, we're done. Please leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like I'm starting to get into a relationship with somebody else. I've moved on. And this was Spencer, obviously, because hello. But I was like, so like I'm moving on, so you should too. Goodbye. And every now and then he would still like text me or DM me or whatever. And it would give me so much anxiety because I'm like, why won't you just leave me be? And my therapist, she really convinced me. She's like, you need to block him. And I was like, do I? Like, that's so mean.
Nope.
And she's like, no, he's breaking your boundary. And I was like, okay, you're right.
Yep.
So I finally did. I blocked his number, and then I have all my social media on private. So I took him off my social media stuff. But then randomly earlier this year, he tried re-following me again. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I blocked him on there. No hesitation. I was like, bye. I was like, take it. That's right.
Yeah,
take that boundary. So once I did it, when I blocked his number, I felt really good about it. Because now at that point, I was like, I knew I didn't have to worry about him trying to like call, text me, do whatever bullshit he was on to try and wiggle his way back into my life. So that was the one time I set a boundary and it didn't work.
So hopefully I don't get in trouble by that person if they know that this exists.
I hope
people like that love control. People like that love control. People like that are probably very mad that you got away, and very mad that they can't manipulate the situation. Very mad that it was you that blocked them. And so they keep trying to infiltrate because they know that people will they'll eventually break their boundaries if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because they're like, fuck, I'll just give in. And so that's pretty much what that is them pushing and pushing and pushing to see if you'll break, if you'll fall. And then you don't, and it pisses them off, and thus they become more obsessive. And they can't really move on, even though they're probably with a bunch of other people, but it's still the lack of control that they couldn't dominate a certain person. So it's like, how dare you set a boundary with me? And so he would be the poor version of Edwin. Throwing a that's the poor Edwin.
That is so
you got no money.
Because his temper tantrum would be continuously pushing through and being obsessive and being kind of stalkerish and probably not being a good individual in the first place because they really didn't respect you or what you stood for or your humanity, boundaries, any of it. And thus they are Edwin. They are more narcissistic and all about dominance. And it's not a relationship at that point. So your therapist is right. Block them, move on. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, 100%.
So if this gets heard, that person probably will be very angry. So
Good.
hopefully that person doesn't hear this.
Good. Be mad.
Well, yes, be mad, but also people are crazy as shit. So if anything happens, we know what the hell happened. We know who it was.
I'm not worried. He's the same height as me. I think I can handle it.
We're good. All right, just making sure. Me and Spencer were just talking about it. People crazy these days, man.
No, he's 5'6". I'll be okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're usually good.
Yeah. Spence.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, and I'm going to use you as comedic relief. Bro, did you see this going like that at all? There's no way you saw him going snapping like that.
No, I really didn't. I saw him. I thought he would just be like a little angry. I didn't think he would say much shit all over your fucking your
house,
childhood home. Not even your house, your childhood home in Nigeria. Like,
yep. And then the mannequin thing is what fucked me up. He choked the mannequin,
started choking it, and then
he
shit on
pooped
it.
on it.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, I love the fact that Sam said no because, you know, through like in the whole first season was all about him trying to find confidence
yes,
in being who he is and kind of accepting the fact that he's most likely going to be staying at Richmond for a long time. So I love that scene because I love the fact that he said no to somebody when he wasn't comfortable being there, and he didn't just say it to say it. That's a great thing because a lot of people, myself included, get stuck in like just being like, okay, just to do it so that then, you know, can do it, move on, whatever.
Easier.
And I think, you know, it's not just about like, you know, getting ahead or anything like that. It's more about just being like, okay, I got to do this so I can stay where I am and make sure that, you know, like you said with your, you know, the people you've talked to, it was like, you know, make sure you don't get fired or you don't get them mad and things like that, or you don't come off as a certain way, as like aggressive or anything like that. Because believe me, my past job, I was right there. Want to cuss that dude out so much. But yeah, so I'm really glad for Sam and the fact that he can like make his own restaurant and stuff like that with his home food without it, you know, being taken by white people, because that's how it usually goes. It's like, you know, there was there was a part in Atlanta where like what's his face went to a Nigerian restaurant with this white woman, and then she proceeded to like take the concept of it and then make a food truck out of it.
Oh Jesus!
Right?
That was crazy.
Yeah. And so
didn't you do it like right across from like
so she bought them out, closed that store, and then made her own restaurant. A little bit off topic, but you know, I love the fact that he could be himself, and then he made it like his own thing instead of it, you know, instead of kind of just being like, well, I'm stuck in this place, I'm going to be miserable all my life or all my career that I'm here in England. He's like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that people see how great Nigeria is and bring it to them. So
yep,
I love that.
Bring it to them, and then also the people that are from Nigeria, African, will have a place to make this feel like home. That's why it was devastating when you see his shop get torn down by racist folks. And then again, how he tries to crap on Sam. Edwin comes back in season 3 and tries to shut his store down, and I'm gonna open up one across the street. Sam's story, you're right. Season 1, episode 1 starts with him unable to do anything, wrecked by anxiety, insecurity, imposter syndrome. And then he becomes this badass figure. And then the very last episode, he's on the Nigerian team. And like he making all these big goals and stuff like that. So you got Dom over here starting off, was scared about the boundaries, sets the boundaries, gets the therapist, and then Dom is our Abasanyo.
Yeah.
Yes. There you
Yep,
are.
even
The
though you're
story.
not Nigerian.
Nope. Nope. There are Abasanyo.
Our
I'll go with Nate.
Caribbean, Jamaican babe.
Yep. She got it.
Trinidadian, all of it.
There you go. There you go.
She one of them. If folks want a story arc with someone that is deeply afraid and insecure, extremely nice, kind, bubbly, a joy, a ray of light, he is my favorite character in the show. And if you relate to that, if you're a neurodivergent individual where everyone's like, you're just so awesome, you're so kind, you're just so good, how are you this good? Sam would be the person that you would relate to the most in this show. If you are what we're going to get into next, the quiet, the reserved, the grunty, the lack of man of few words, the Roy Kent, we'll get into that.
Oh,
Roy Kent.
Roy Kent. He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where. Roy Kent. Roy Kent. All right, with that, we will. Nice segue into our next scene, where Roy is telling a story about his old teammate that lost his baby.
Yeah, devastating.
Yes. So this was after who was it? It was Isaac. Isaac. Yep. Isaac went to the stands after a fan said a very derogatory word. Another meaning for a gay person, or a slur for a gay person.
Yep.
A slur for a gay person. He went up to the stands and pretty much almost punched him in the face. What was it? What was that fight with the Pistons and the Pacers? Was that
Malice in the Palace?
Yeah, Malice in the Palace. Almost Malice in the Palace.
Yep.
Less bloodshed there. And so Roy actually took to the podium to talk to the press, even though he does not like talking to the press, obviously. And so he talks to the press, and he pretty much gives his full support to Isaac, not for the action, but for the fact that he's defending his teammate, because you don't know what's going on in their lives. And so Roy gets into the story about his teammate, who Roy says that he, was joking around and saying how his teammate's baby is his, and finds out later on, after getting the shit kicked out of him, and the teammates kicked off the team, that his teammate's child passed away a month before that all happened. And so really makes you open up about how you don't know what's going on in people's lives. And just because you buy a ticket to like a sporting event or anything like that does not give you the right to just blurt out whatever you want, like I said before, because there are people, and you don't know what's going on with them. How would we like to approach this scene? How would we?
I think just piggybacking off of what you said about not knowing what is going on in other people's lives. So just like what's the saying? Like, treat people how you want to be treated, like keeping it super basic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will put on a front in their day-to-day life that everything's fine, everything's cool, but back at home, they could be going through who knows what. So certain things you could say to them could be very triggering, like it was for Isaac when that slur was said, because him and Colin are best friends. They go way back. And it looked like he was having a hard time processing that Colin was gay, not because he was gay, but I think because Colin didn't tell him, Isaac just found out. So he's like, why did he feel like he couldn't tell me, blah, blah, blah. I lost my train of thought. That's it.
Okay.
Completely fine. They made it look like Isaac was a homophobe. They were trying to make it look like that, and I felt that it wasn't about that. I felt, because I'm also a therapist, I'm like, now they're not going to do this to this team. They're gonna, it's because they were best friends and he didn't tell him and he felt offended. And then when I seen him blow up in the stands, I'm like, okay, so either he's taking his rage out on this dude because he is homophobic, or I was like, or Isaac himself might be gay, because I thought Isaac himself might be gay too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like, when he was like, "You want to come in?" I was like, "Oh shit, about to go down."
Yep.
About to
I was
lay
like,
it on the line.
yeah, I was like, he could have been gay, because all the team was like, "Who do you think's gay?" And they're like, "Isaac's probably gay." And then the whole team, and then Colin's like, "Nah, dog, I'm the gay one."
Yeah.
It was an intense scene. The fight scene was intense. The speech was magnificent and well done. But only a player's coach could do something like that, or someone with wisdom, with actual experience, that had messed up and then had to, say I'm sorry, and then you end up getting someone else's story. That's a life experience that Roy gave. Shout out to the writers that do this, and shout out to all the writers that are on strike right now and trying to demand better wages so they can actually afford a good living, because these shows are making millions and millions of dollars and they're getting paid like $20,000.
That's so crazy. I had no
I think
idea.
they're coming to an agreement here soon. So
good.
Better.
I think that I saw that they were coming to an agreement.
I thought it was awesome that Ted and all the actors were joining them in the strike the other day. I thought that was pretty cool. They were supposed to have like a reunion party and they skipped it and they joined them on the picket line.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that story was something else. I mean, Spencer, I was just telling you about that parking spot thing. We were at Sam's Club, and Pops was like, we were circled 5 minutes in the parking lot looking for handicap spots, and someone was going to take it ahead of us. And I could have swooped in, but I'm like, bro, if you swoop in, then they mad at you, they could cuss at you, then you're getting mad. I said, it is what it is, Pops. But Pops was a little mad because, we're going to take another 5 minutes to find a spot. I said, people got guns these days, man. I ain't taking a chance. It's not a big fucking deal. We're not hungry. Well, the groceries will be there.
Yeah.
And then the spot opened up literally 2 seconds later on the other side in handicap, and so we were good. And he's like, you're right, man. I said, people are crazy. Just, you don't know what someone's going through. Last thing I need to do is make someone think that we took their spot, even though we had it first.
Right.
I didn't plan on doing this scene. And then something happened. Someone hit me up and said, "Hey man, I fucked up." I said, a text message late at night. And, I didn't read it. Read it the next morning because I was sleeping real late. And I love that people can text me and they think that I'm a safe person. I get these late texts once a year, twice a year. Sometimes I don't pay no attention to it, but it's usually some very sketchy stuff. I didn't read it though. I thought it was fine. I just saw the headline on my cell phone. And then I read it in the morning. I was like, Jesus Christ. It said, "Hey man, I did this horrible thing. I can't believe what I've done. I think that I'm better off dead." I was like, okay. So that was intense. I told the individual, you call from now on when you're going through something like that. And see, like that dude that got into that fight, right? I mean, you're going through something. And so I talked to this human, you're going through something. You don't just do these violent things and hurt someone because you're just chilling and vibing. There's something else going on. It wasn't the stimuli that pissed you off that made you react like that. It's a buildup of shit. Also, we're going to take away from alcohol from now on too. That's done. That is completely done. You will not touch that anymore. But this thing, this underlying insecurity or masculinity or this dominance or whatever is going on needs to stop, and you need to check it. And you need to do the same shit that I did. Here's the player coach thing. You're right. I hurt some people, and I was making sure that I stood up for other people. And one time it was a life or death situation, and I beat a kid damn near to death to make sure that everyone else could run away. I sacrificed myself. Thankfully, everything lucked out and nothing happened. And I thought I was a monster after that. And it's hard to recover from things like that because you think that you're this horrible person, even though you were saving people. I said, you can move forward and try to put yourself in better positions. You can look at this as the end. Like you're a piece of shit and you deserve to die. That your family is quote unquote better without you, which is a fucked up thing to say. Or you can think this is a new beginning. That chapter's done. Now you're going to move forward to the next chapter. So you got a choice. And I said, you can vow to never put your hands on anyone ever again, like I did. But that would be something you need to promise yourself, not because I told you. And then we can move forward and you can work on some issues and, and do what you got to do. But we need to talk about this last statement. I can give a shit about your anger. Really, really couldn't care. Like Roy said, obviously I don't condone the shit, but also I'm going to show you love. I'm going to show you love in one of your weakest moments. But what was this suicidal thing? It's fucked up. People, a lot of us, we get so down and out and we see how people look at us. That's a horrible feeling. I don't think either one of you have ever been in that position where people look at you like you're a monster. That is like horrific when people look at you disgusted. And so I could see where people would think, what's the point? I fucked everything up. I'm ashamed. Everyone hates me. I'm like, no. Yes, in the moment, I get it. But also we can back down. We can recover. We can make amends. We can go talk things out. We can apologize. We can do better. So the next step was, so moms and brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, just all of them would just be better if you just perished. Okay. So this would be like Isaac if he actually hurt the guy and then saw how people were disgusted with him, and then he would take his own life because he couldn't deal with it. Or like that dude who lost the baby, right? I'm sure he was suicidal as shit. He lost the baby, got kicked off the team. There's probably relationship issues, hella depressed. Folks, there's always a way out. Remember that. Talk to someone like this human did the other day with me. Talk to someone. I was thinking about that in the weight pit the other day, and then we just happened to do this scene because I forgot about this scene. Yes. So see what happens. These things can get real sad real fast when people you fuck up so bad, you discuss it with yourself, and you know you fucked up, but then other people tell you that you messed up. It's horrifying. I've been in the situation. Pops has. Many people in my family have. You're redeemable. All of us are redeemable. If fucking Nate is redeemable in this show, then everyone is redeemable. And then the person said, but I almost did this horrible thing. I said, I get it, man. I get it. I get it. You did a horrible thing, and we will make amends for it. Or you can quit now and you'll forever be known as a piece of shit. Or we can literally start anew tomorrow. It's your choice, brother. So obviously they're making the correct choice. The choice to continue working on some things and following through with therapy like I told them to, and getting off the booze and possibly starting a medication. So we all got a story. You never know what anyone's going through, man. This is why I try my best to treat people with kindness. I try my best to not like get mad at people or take it personal. Or like you're going outside and someone says something nasty to you and you're just like, Jesus Christ, like I could destroy you right now. But also you're probably going through a ton of shit that I have no idea about. So it's interesting. The world is interesting, man. I think Roy dropped a dime right here. You just don't know. Treat it with love. That was my spiel. I did my best not to give anything away. Hopefully all of you have someone you could talk to or text at 2, 3 a.m. when shit hits the fan. And if you don't, then you need to call the suicide hotline number like me and Spence talked about in the last episode, 988. Or you need to look in your local emergency things, or you need to just call 911. But there's things that can get you back on course. You don't want your story to end like the guy that beat Roy Kent, or you don't want it to end like Isaac. Isaac did a hell of a recovery, and he's still the captain. Remember that, folks. There is ability to recover from your mistakes. All right, I'm done. Yeah, that's why I was like, yep, we got to do this scene, Spence. I was like, fuck, we already got 5. I was like, we got to do this one. Something literally just happened yesterday where I had a long talk with someone. And then Pops will have a longer talk with that person soon. So, intense scene. Roy, I don't know about you, Spence. I never thought Roy had any of this in him.
I thought he had it in him.
You thought he had it in him?
Yeah, I mean that's why Ted kind of in the first season really made sure that he was the guy to talk to players and get like even when Isaac was going through his little his little rough patch,
the yips.
Yeah, when he had the yips, and so Ted made sure that Roy was the guy to talk to him about it, and been like, dude, get your shit together, let's go, like have fun playing soccer, stop trying to be all just like calculated and shit, just have fun, and that's why he made him go and play with like the people in the park. Yeah, so I think I think he always had it in him. It's just that he always has a tough time, whether it's because of maybe like Dom said, with maybe he had just confidence issues like with his father, maybe he was abusive or something like that. Maybe that's why he's always down on himself. And stuff like that. Maybe that's why. But you can always tell, even like the quiet ones, they got something to say. It's just that he says it in like one or two words instead of full sentences.
He's very concise. He just straight to the point. Mm-hmm. Any of those extra words.
It's interesting on how much love. Oh, okay, so neurodivergent bingo. Obviously, folks, he's neurodivergent coded. In this, I mean, could he just be super reserved and like old school? Yeah. But many of his mannerisms, characteristics, his tightness, his regimented, his explosiveness, by that deregulating.
Also, his love for his niece. Fucking loves his niece.
Yes. And so that's where I was going with this.
So cute.
He has so much love to give. He is this spitting image to me of Colin. Like one of the most loving individuals you'll ever meet, and then lights up with his baby girl, but will give you nothing but grunts. Colin sent me a picture. He was in the car. They're at the wedding thing for the Heather's family. He sends me a picture. He's in the car at the wedding's at the beach. And he's like, I'm so glad I got the fucking kid. And he sends me a Snapchat of everyone else outside. He's like, I ain't got to do nothing. He just goes back in the car and chills with the baby.
Oh my God.
Man, fuck these
living
people.
The dream.
Yeah, living the dream, man. He's like, man, fuck these people, man.
That child's just an excuse. He doesn't have to do shit. Sorry, I gotta go check on the baby.
She just completely shit her diaper, man. I gotta go.
Sorry.
Yep. He's like, the baby's overheating. This baby's not overheating. They were literally out there for 5 minutes.
Well, no. I mean, with that skin.
We gotta. Yeah, true. They are.
True.
That's like.
I told Colin the other day.
white.
I just realized that your child was white the other day. He's like, what?
Why does
I'm like, that child is white. Yeah.
Yeah. SPF. Damn.
SPF. SPF.
That's good.
Oven roasted.
Jesus.
Yeah. But folks, doesn't matter what gender, men and women that I work with, there's going to be a lot of folks that are very stoic and reserved, very calm, that are some people are going to love, and they'll love you for the bits and pieces that you show, the expressions that you show, and others, it just won't be enough, and that's fine. You won't be their cup of tea. Many will love you because since you are so calm, they can rev a little bit higher with emotions and mood, and then you would be the grounding force. That happens a lot with some of my neurodivergent couples. But Roy is packed. And I think the first time you see it is when he takes his niece. He goes to the elementary to play soccer with them all, and he's playing with all the kids and all that. That's when you first realize he's a good dude.
Yeah, of course. And then he's always there for his little niece.
Always. Or what about in the third season when she has really bad breath?
Oh, yeah. I think that was the second season.
Yeah, it was
Second
the third season.
Okay, second season, they go door to door.
That was so funny.
Like, it's probably not that bad. Oh. I almost died.
Yeah.
I would assume that she had, I think it's called halitosis or gingivitis.
Like
she had something, yeah.
Yeah, it was some like medical thing where she needed to have like either take a prescription or like a special toothpaste or special mouthwash because that's not regular like, oh, forgot to brush my teeth. That's like something medical is going on. Yeah.
There's a carcass in your mouth.
Yeah. I just love how he's so full of love and yet he is willing to also kill you at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fun like that.
Wonderful description of one version of the many versions of neurodivergent. One version of the many versions. Isaac also, man, a few words.
Yeah.
Man, a few words in the show. And so some could see him as just a very masculine and individual. But with his strength and his stoicism, also could be neurodivergent as well. I also like to see his story arc where him and Colin used to bully Nate. And then now they're like the captains and the loving ones on the team and like super more feminine.
Yeah, as soon as like Nate flipped over to like the dark side, like Nate was actually like the really angry one, and then Colin and Isaac were just like, calm the fuck down, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
Actually, he mainly only picked on Colin. He didn't pick on Isaac because I think he knew Isaac would whip his ass.
Correct. Yep, correct.
So, and he knew that Colin was going through something, possibly, or like he saw like weakness in him. And he just kept on picking on him, just like how they picked on him in the first season. So
Yep. Which leads us into technically the next discussion, which is Colin and Isaac. So that's why we kind of ordered it like this. Yeah. So I'll let you kind of speak a little bit more on it. We already kind of touched on it.
Yeah. So this is after. So Colin has been hiding the fact that he's gay from pretty much everyone. And then Trent just finds him making out like on the street and is just like, yeah, I know what's going on here. I know. I've been down that way myself, sir.
Yeah. I likes to shoot.
Jesus. And yeah, so then you find out Trent's gay and stuff like that, and you're just like, who cares? Trent's cool. It's cool, dude. Yeah. Glad they added him to the Diamond Dogs. Jesus. And so finally Isaac comes out as gay to his teammates after Isaac fought the dude in the stands. And then afterwards Isaac goes to Colin's house and he just kind of tells him how he's feeling, why he was really upset with him. And it wasn't the fact, like we talked about, it wasn't the fact that he was gay. It was more of the fact that he just didn't tell him or didn't trust him enough to tell him. And then, of course, Colin explains that, he trusts him, but, there's an off chance that, if he does tell him, he might not react the way that, that he would want him to. Right.
Yeah.
And so great scene. And then afterwards he just invites him in and then they play FIFA.
They go back to being friends and it's just awesome.
Yeah. And he just asks him questions about being gay, which I'm like, that's fair.
Funny. Yeah. Fair. I mean, curiosity.
Yeah, at least he's being open about his, just asking questions instead of just being like, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about fuck you're gay. Like, nah, nigga, what's going on?
Yeah, right.
Who you think the fittest in the club is?
And then ever since he said that bumper catch, like every time I look at him, I'm like, yeah, I see you with those muscles, bumper catch.
You got that silky hair. Yeah, I see you.
I see you, baby girl.
You got something to tell us, man? You gotta.
I'm a Sam Abesanya guy all the way. So
it's June, bro. It's okay. It's June.
It's June. It's my month, boy. Or how about when in the one scene when it's the dog scene, Ted does a little shake like this. I'm like, why are you shaking?
Oh yeah, he said.
Yeah. I was like, I see you shaking the bosoms.
My man Ted, give me a mustache ride.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, handlebars.
Moving on.
So this is, since it is Pride Month, I thought it was a wonderful thing to add. It was also a different story arc as well. Many of my students are coming out, whether become as gay, ace, trans, a lot of different things. Is dating someone of a different race, dating someone of a different religion. I have many different things that my kids got to come out to with their parents or family members or friends. It can be real sus. So for Colin not to tell his boy Isaac, to me, I wasn't really mad at it because it makes complete sense. Like, you don't fully know unless you withhold, because why ruin something? Because as soon as you tell them now, I mean, it's out and now it can breathe and it can go any different way. So you control things by withholding. I wasn't mad at Colin. I wasn't mad at Isaac really about the way he acted. Afterwards, you realize he was just extremely hurt because now Isaac's like, you thought I was a piece of shit. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You thought I was a straight up piece of shit and a homophobe and that I was going to hate you. And he's like, no, man. So some will say that Isaac made it about himself, but since they're best friends, and they spend every moment together and they live together and they eat together, like, he has a right to be a little mad. He does.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but he has a right to be a little mad.
He's hurt. He's just hurt.
Your best friend withhold something to you? That fucker Colin held something from me, and his wife told me and spilled the beans about a year or so ago, and I was like, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. Well, Colin
Tell us off the air.
I can tell you now, he was depressed. Very depressed, and made some suicidal comments that they decided to withhold from me. Until, she was like, we need to talk about this. And I was like, yeah, he ain't brought this shit up. Led to some really good conversations. We're completely open about things. But a lot of us that are neurodivergent, we get locked in this place of what's the point? Like, this is it? We're just going to go to work and then that's it? Like, there's nothing else to this? There's no grand thing. I just exist? So for a lot of us, that can be a really weird space to operate in. And I think Colin was locked in that space, and I've been locked in that space at times. It gets repetitive. Yes. It can be weird. Before I go further into that stuff, Dom, your thoughts on the scene?
I thought, why are you so close to your microphone? I thought it was really nice. I feel like it was a heartfelt moment between two friends. I could definitely tell that Isaac was very hurt that Colin didn't tell him. He was like, we're best friends. Like, why didn't you tell me? Like, it really seemed like Isaac was like, what did I do? Like, did I do something wrong? Was I not enough? Was I not doing whatever? And Colin was like, no, you did everything you need to do. Is 100% just like me overthinking what you might say, like being 99% sure you would accept, but there's just the 1% where I was like, So it was showing how they were both kind of in their heads about each other, and maybe some communication earlier on would have been helpful. But it is scary coming out as gay, because you never really know how someone's going to react, especially if like the LGBTQ community hasn't really been a part of your guys' conversations, and you don't know how that person feels about the LGBTQ community. So for all Colin knew, Isaac could have been like an extreme homophobe and would have, I don't know, like exposed him to everybody, like outed him to everybody, and like try to turn him against everybody. And, so I think I understand where both of them were coming from. Yeah. And I enjoyed the bonding at the end, because it felt like they were like innocent little kids. And then Isaac's were like, well, what about this? And what about this? And then Colin's, well, ABC equals XYZ. And Isaac's like, oh, okay. So I thought that was like kind of like a nice turnaround and an end to the scene.
If we're being honest, that's how bros bond. So they went back to being best friends. And so, yeah, it might have been a little cringe for some folks. Or maybe they're like, he shouldn't have to explain things, but when it's your best friend, then I feel like your best friend will allow you to ask questions. Now, if it's a random ass person, then you're not going to answer those questions, because that will be disrespectful. But yeah, I think it's quite wonderful, that bonding moment at the end. My favorite part, neither one of you have mentioned yet, but Spence, what was your interpretation of the whole scene?
I mean, honestly, it's nothing, no loud message here. I mean, I think it's, it's great that they were able to bond and, come closer as friends, because that kind of secret kind of drives a wedge between you, especially when you have to act like you're straight all the time.
Gross.
It's like, yeah. And then just kind of being like, yeah, women are great, yeah, she's so hot, yeah, and then
because he would make those comments all the time.
Yeah, because he had to, or else he'd be like, what the...
Play the part.
Yeah, and so I'm glad he actually got to come out, on his own terms, kind of, at least, or at least to kind of, be like, hey, Isaac's not the gay one, because it was kind of getting there when he started like crying in the was it the boot? I think it was like the boot closet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was weird that, and then you start crying and you're like, I'm sure Isaac's not gay.
Yeah, I know. They were
They were really alluding to it. Like, they had me fooled. I was like, oh snap,
Right.
is Isaac gay too? Is he like, that's fine, but like, oh snap, I didn't see that coming.
Yep. Yeah, they like to throw some cannon fodder out there to like confuse us, which is good writing. When you can't just predict everything.
Right.
I think what was really cool is that Colin's like, I love you, right? And then he's like, I know you can't say it. And he's like, yeah, bruv, but I do, right? He's like, yeah, man. And then they just kind of just smile and play games. I'm like, huh?
Oh, there it is.
And he's gone.
There it is.
Oh, that was a good one there, man. Because I've been there with some clients, and then they're like, Nazir, I love you. And I'm like, yep. Because I can't say that to you, but
see you next week.
Yeah.
Get out.
Piece of shit. It's a vibe. I hope that many folks will get to see this, because this is not like a thing that doesn't happen in sports. There are many gay folks in sports. There are many gay men in sports. But they don't come out, and then they do come out usually is after they're done, because the violence or repercussions that could happen. Some of the folks that have come out during their playing years have been kicked off of teams. They've been isolated and segregated off, right? And relegated off as a distraction. And they were good players. Colin's got a bunch of different reasons why. Fear of his career, his body, his friends, his family. I mean, it's intense. Hopefully this will help some others, specifically men, come out. Hopefully men find comfort into telling their friends that there's something going on, there's something different. That way they don't have to live with that and have that facade and die with that depression. And then probably become suicidal. Hopefully they have people that they can tell and that they actually accept them. So cheers to those who will see this and gain some life from Colin and Isaac's friendship. And yes, the team accepted them and everything, but specifically the best thing was the friendship and the masculinity of Isaac. And yet also both of them can show their femininity and kindness and love. Men have the ability to show this, and I think we learn that over and over and over throughout this entire season series. As that there's no monolith on how men should act and present themselves and show themselves, experience emotions. We learn that specifically through Roy. And that's what we're going to keep putting on is Roy. We learn on how you can have multiple different personalities and still be yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And with that, then we're going to lead to our second to last scene with Roy joining the Diamond Dogs.
His birthday.
Always got a goddamn toy with him.
Yep.
Or as Roy said, ruff, ruff.
Woof,
Ruff,
woof.
Ruff.
I'm not going to lie. Every time we try to get Colin to say whoop, whoop, he'll literally be like, boop. And that'd be
Hey,
it.
I'll take it.
Do you say anything? We bought him. I bought him a microphone, and then because he got the microphone, he lowered his volume of his voice to where the microphone couldn't even pick it up. I'm like, you still have to use your normal voice, bro.
Okay, well, boom.
ASMR.
All right, so getting into the scene, Roy has some questions for the Diamond Dogs, and so Diamond Dogs, it's pretty much, I think it was made up for Ted and Nate and Beard, and then Leslie. And they all come together to talk. It's mainly men talking and kind of sharing their feelings and what's kind of going on in their personal life. That, and then, they talk about their dating life as well, too.
Get some advice.
Yeah, it's all about advice. And so now Roy, who has been avoiding being a Diamond Dog the whole time, finally joins because he's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be myself. How can anybody change, especially for me, if they don't want to be themselves? And so so they kind of have that discussion, and especially Leslie, one of my favorite characters, one of them, it's up there. Talks about how you can only, change if you keep on, getting advice and taking that advice and then kind of going with it and, progressing through your whole life instead of regressing. Love the scene because, it's always great to see finally Roy's coming out of his shell and accepting the fact that he is one of the weirdos. He's a weirdo like all of them.
Just like the rest of us.
And it's also good seeing Nate back. I know Dom hates Nate. I don't know as much, but
once he just like growled a little bit at the end, I was like, all right.
That cry when he hugs Ted and just cries.
Yeah.
That's when I accepted him back. I was like, all right, since he cried, I guess he's cool.
Yeah,
But
whole
the
season long.
Season, I was like, no, fuck that guy. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, I know. The whole time he was trying to get back, she was like, fuck him. No,
don't let him back.
Loses everything.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was like, no, get away from me.
Get away from me.
You betrayed Ted.
Yeah.
You betrayed.
But at the end, I was like, all right. Maybe he does feel bad. He's like ugly crying. Okay.
But
that's enough groveling.
And that's why I love this scene, because it has Nate in it. We're going to do a quick diverge. So Nate, obviously he leaves the team and all that. And the one thing that always stuck in my head is, how dare you? You made me feel like I was the best person in the world, that you loved me, Ted. And then I was nothing to you. You didn't even keep the picture that I gave you in your office. Fast forward when Ted's like super depressed, you see the picture on his bedside so he could see it every night of him and Nate. So he always had that picture. It was even closer to him. It was in his house. So Nate misconstrued things, and he had some transference, which many of you will learn about, is he put a lot of his shit or projected a lot of his stuff onto Ted, which really was about his dad. It was always about his dad, Nate's dad. Nate's, thank God they made him good. His revolution of turning the tides and becoming a good partner, and telling Rupert to go screw himself when he tried to get him to cheat on his partner. Thank God he did that, man.
Crazy.
I was like, and I knew that's where it was going, because Rupert's seen joy and happiness. Rupert's seen love, and he's a monster. And so you want other people to be monsters like you. You want a partner in crime. And so he tried to pollute it. And I think it's a very good teaching point, because others that are miserable, they'll make you miserable. Others that are doing bad, that'll make you want to do bad, because misery loves company.
Sure does.
And Nate, I don't know how many people will do this, but in that moment, Nate said no. Because the one thing that meant the most to him was this person, love. He didn't give a fuck about all this money and coaching. He wanted to impress his girl. And she didn't take no shit either. I loved her.
She's fucking She's so creepy.
So creepy. She was fierce.
She was she was interesting.
I
She
loved
just
her.
all over the place. She's like always just so, like passive aggressive for no reason.
And
No
quiet.
reason at all. He's like, hi. And she's like,
I
who's
just felt
there?
like she was just like sneaky. He'd be like, oh,
also
like,
sneaky.
like they would be like together and be like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And he turns around and she's not there.
Yeah.
Bro, do you have the feet of a small kitten?
Yeah, she would just take off. And he's like, I swear she was just right there.
Yeah. Makes him seem like she doesn't exist because whenever he tries to introduce her, she's like, bye.
See, that's the girlfriend I've had. You guys, she just always happens to be gone when you come over.
Right. Yeah.
Business for every time, huh?
You always pointed at a man, so I just assumed.
Yeah.
No comment.
It was funny. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no comment.
Also,
No comments.
also, kind of go with that. It's like I love how all these characters just have father issues. Like every single one of them have dad issues. Every character. None of them have a positive role model for a father, except for Sam. That's about it.
And Sam's dad. Oh my God, I love him and everything he was in. I think he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. Is he in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know.
I think he was. And then he was in Zoo. Oh God, I love that fucking guy.
Yeah, so it's a very there's a theme there. All of them, but at the end, like all of their most of them at least have some type of
redemption,
like reconciliation with their dads. Jamie did, because his dad's in like recovery.
Clean.
And so
Nate.
it looks like maybe Nate too, because his dad was just like a
hard
He was
ass.
tough.
Yeah,
he was.
He was so hard on him. Like, no wonder homie has anxiety. Oh my Lord.
And they're spitting at himself in the fucking mirror.
That was wild. Like that was the ultimate self-loathing. You're the worst. Do better. This is why like Ted doesn't have the photo in the office anymore. Like when nobody likes you. That was like the epitome of self-hatred. That was crazy. And like
I kind of wish his evilness went a little bit longer in the season.
Yeah.
Because like right away, he was kind of like, you could see little bits of him coming back to himself. Like, especially with like his whole car thing. Like he was still like that nervous, like Kit Man and stuff. And so it's like, I kind of wish it was like a little bit more. So then the turnaround felt like a little better. I don't know. Felt like a little bit more like real life instead of him just kind of being like, yeah, I'm still kind of me still, even though like the end of the season, he looked like he was a fucking villain.
He did. And yet this next season, he's like nervous and anxious around Rupert and anxious around other people, tries to start his own Diamond Dogs. That went horrific.
That was
that was
so
tough.
cringe.
That was cringy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that
cringe.
hurt me so bad.
Yeah.
Like I still hit him, but I was like,
ex-wives.
ouch. That hurt.
Ouch.
That hurt.
Yep. That's why I love Nate in this scene with the Diamond Dogs. He said, I think we can change. Some for the worst and some for the better, but we can change. Both of you, before we go further and we dive a little bit more into Nate and then we go back to Roy, do you believe that people can change, Dom?
I think I agree more with what Trent said, that you kind of accept that you are who you are. I think that maybe like small things you can change about yourself, but I don't know if like those big changes happen later on in life because you've been living the same way for so long. So I resonated more with what Trent said. So I think that people try to change and they may be able to uphold that change for a certain amount of time, but at some point you're going to revert back to your bad habits. You're just going to have to accept that you are who you are. So just let it roll.
What about you, Hoss? Big Dog, Grand Salami, Bakuba,
Jesus.
Jimmy Neutron.
I have to agree with Leslie more. I think it all depends on the people you're around, and then I think that changes because it's like, at what point do you say like this is yourself? Is it like when you're a kid? Is it when you're a grown adult? Because I've seen adults change who they are. Is it when you're 17? Is it when you're 18? It's like it's hard to just say like, this is who you are. You cannot change, because if you're around certain people and you think and you see them and you go, okay, I really have to take a look at myself and kind of change who I am. I think you can. It's very hard work, and a lot of people don't do it because it's hard work and it's hard to change. But I think you can. It's kind of like I was just watching the show The Good Place, and they talk about that all the time of just like, are you evil like from the get-go?
Can you be good?
Yeah, can people be good and stuff like that? And so it's a really good question. And I personally think that as long as you take advice and you want to take those steps to actually be somebody who you're proud to look at in the mirror, I think so. Because you take a look at Rupert, like he doesn't have people around him that can tell him anything because he's at the top. And usually people at the top can't, get advice from other people because they got to the top. And so you see his downfall. And then you see others like Jamie, who was on a very negative very negative time in his life, but he turned around and now he's playing football with love and passion, and he's doing it for the right reasons now. Those are like obviously fictional versions, but I also think that in general I think people can change. It's just it depends on whether you want to change or if you have the right surroundings to actually make that change, and a lot of people don't. But
Spencer, that was probably the most spot on I've agreed with you in a long time on something. You articulated everything I was going to say and wanted to say. I was actually going to challenge you to be a little shit, but these are fictional characters. But you're correct. And so other people will say these are fictional characters. Fuck you. This doesn't happen in real life. People don't change. People are who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Dom is right in some ways. It depends on how you look at it. I think there's a certain amount of acceptance that we need to do. I think that we can change for the worst. We see with Jamie, good goes bad, back to good. Nate, really good, goes bad, back. We see it all the time in these fictional characters and superheroes and villains. We see massive changes. The question that Spencer said was probably one that no one would have come up with is, when do you actually judge the change? Do you judge it before the frontal lobe has completely formed for men at 26, women at like 21? Do you judge it sooner in adolescence when they say your personality's finite at like fucking 15, 16? Do you judge it when you're old and with more wisdom and experience, more traumas, more loss? When do you judge that you are who you are? Do you judge it when you're at your lowest points in the drugs and alcohol? Do you judge you can't change when you're in the massive depression? Because if you can't change, then why do you go to therapy? You go to therapy. Some people say you just go to therapy just so someone can be nice to you. There's a lot of fucked up shit that people say about therapy. It's for weak people to have someone to be their friend. I also believe change is extremely fucking hard. But at the same time, I also believe that we change literally daily. Our cells, everything about our entire body has changed within a few days, weeks, months, and years. It's all been regenerated. So how can you not change? Literally everything down to the microscopic level has changed and altered in you. When I make either one of you chuckleheads smile, I literally change your neurochemistry. And when you make me smile, neurochemistry is legit changed. As I tell students, if you make me smile throughout the day, one of you shitheads will make me smile. And that will provide me enough joy and energy to get through the next 3 or 4 kids that are probably suicidal, or the next assault or abuse case, Every once in a while, all I need is this quick little laugh. You give me a glimmer, can power me for at least 2-3 hours. And people bring me joy and happiness all the time, and it lasts for a long time. And then sometimes I don't get that joy, and then, it's a rough couple weeks. But I tell people, if you can make me smile, or even friends or family, you probably just save 10 lives. You understand that, kid? They'll look at me like, what the fuck you talking about? You understand you just made me smile today? It's the hardest I laughed in a long time. You probably just saved at least 10 lives. And a lot of kids would be fucked up by that. Like, Jesus. I said, you don't understand the impact that you can have and how it can change someone's life. Or others' lives. And yet, people tend to always be who they are. So I was talking to a couple. One individual that's married. And I said, you know what? You're going to do this thing. Your partner's gotten healthy. We'll see what happens. And if you get divorced, you get divorced. But things seem to be trending in the right direction. They agreed. Said, Nazir, what do you think we'll do? So I said, if I'm being honest, I'm worried like your father. I don't think this will be good. I don't want you to suffer. I don't want your future children to suffer. And so I think it'll end up a termination of the marriage. And he said, well, that sucks. I'm just being honest with you. You wanted an honest answer, and so I'm shooting you an honest answer. I'm not your therapist right now. I'm just telling you what I predict. But could it work out? Yes. If they work on their shit, continue to seek therapy, possibly medication to help them regulate some things. You work on your communication. Both of you get couples therapy together with a good therapist, and you are actually honest in couples therapy and actually speak up, you little turd. Because my person doesn't want to speak up, because if they do speak up in couples therapy, they will be berated with violence when they go home. Emotional and mental violence. I have the male that's a good person. The other person is probably a good person too. They're just going through some stuff. And so we ended the conversation. I said, there's this old saying that zebras don't change their stripes. And he cracked up. I never heard this saying. I'm like, okay. I said, also, you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. He said, I never heard that one either. I said, yeah, pig, maybe you like smelling shit and kissing pigs, but I don't. I mean, I smell like shit enough.
Oh, boy.
He cracked up. I love certain students, man, when they don't know any of these metaphors or analogies or funny things. They're just like, what the fuck? Did you come up with that? I'm like, yes, I came up with this.
I'm a genius. Yes.
Number one right here.
Number one. I came up with so many songs too that you probably don't even know. Yeah. Have you ever heard of I Believe I Can Fly?
Oh my God, the one song.
I couldn't think of nothing.
Moving on.
The one song.
Baby, I'm back. That's the only other thing I can think of. So it's fucked up that I say that people can change, and I said that Spencer said, and yet I still said zebras don't change their stripes. I don't have an answer for this one. I asked you two to see what you thought. I don't have an answer. I believe that people can change for good and bad, and I also know that it's extremely fucking hard and that a lot of people don't. Do I believe it can be done? Short answer, yes. Do I believe that people will choose to? Hell no. I do hope the person that I talked to the other day chooses to change for them, their family, and their future children. Will they? Statistically, I think they will. But we'll see. Me and Pops got to take care of some stuff. See what happens. Right. Maybe we can beat the shit out of them. In a good way.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's not a client, so I can.
Bruises.
Not a client. I can do whatever they want. Yeah. We're going to play bad cop, bad cop.
Bad cop, worst cop.
Bad
taser. That's
yeah, we're going to play bad cop, disabled cop.
Oh, my God. All right. Moving on.
Last scene.
Yeah,
Last scene.
Like, he's going to be like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'll get you eventually.
I'll get there.
Jesus. All right.
You just make a disabled joke. Okay, listen.
Last one. Take it away.
All right. So this was okay. So Edwin's back. Third season, he's back, and he's trying to get all of the league owners to make one big league and cut out all like the small teams, so that then they all get the money, they all get the power, blah 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 blah. Greedy motherfucker. And so Rebecca, Jesus Christ, Rebecca is in the room with her ex Rupert, who's the owner of Ham, and
Ham.
Yeah. Oink oink. In this scene, Edwin's trying to get them to sign into the league, and Rebecca just doesn't want to be part of that because she wants to make sure that the fans get, first. They get first bid, and it's all about them. It's not about the owners or getting money. It's all about, having that joy of watching their team play. And so she goes into a story about Rupert and how he came to be the owner pretty much of that team, and how he's just a little boy who got smacked around by a security guard because he snuck into the game
Tuesday night,
and then came back 25 years later to buy the team and actually gave a raise to the security guard. And then, of course, after she made her speech, all the owners rejected the agreement, and Edwin was like, what was his name again? Pretty much had another meltdown and threw food all over them. So, yeah.
That's temper tantrums. That's not cute. Mm-mm.
No. He deregulates so bad. Jesus Christ.
Because he's entitled. So he's like, you're telling me no? That's crazy.
Yeah, so entitled.
She said, is this a fucking joke? His eyes just went.
I loved that. We love a powerful woman. That was a moment. She was the moment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is everything.
Calm it down.
I know you think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like Danny Rojas. Football is life. Rebecca is life.
Danny Ross.
Rojas. Danny Ross. Rojas. I said.
I think that was Adam Sandler's name in 50 First Dates.
Bro. Yeah, those eyes. And here's what fucks me up about Edwin is that he was the dumb cop in New Girl, like the idiot that couldn't do anything.
Isn't that crazy?
He plays an idiot in almost every show he's ever been in, a complete buffoon, and yet it's so hard for me to take him serious. I just thought I'd bring that up.
I mean, he had there was an episode with Conan O'Brien, the late night show host. He did like all of these. He went to all these different countries, and he actually went to Africa with him. And they, so they got to see where like the first like slave ships and things like that came about, and all that stuff. It was actually a really great episode with him, and then he talked about like his African roots and things like that. So if you can check out that episode of Conan Travels or some shit like that. It was actually really cool. So yeah, and he actually did an episode in Japan, or no, it was Korea, with the dude from The Walking Dead. I forgot what his name was.
Oh, Stephen Wynn.
Yeah, Stephen Wynn from Beef too.
Okay, so there you go.
That was really cool too. So
yeah, like Beef next.
You're gonna have a straight panic first episode. You're having a straight panic attack first episode.
It's straight, just fucking stupid, like all out there shit, and I'm like,
all right,
it's intense. First episode is like pure anxiety.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the scene. What do we think of this? What do we think?
What a power move. Like such a power move, especially because I think she was unsure if she wanted to go in the first place.
Yep.
Whether it's because she was the only woman there or because she's like, I don't know if I want to support this elite team. Like that sounds so stupid. But I think she decided to go because she was like, I need to say my piece to try and convince these people to not sign this deal. She was like, we care about the fans are the reason why we're in our position. They're the reason why we have all this money, who are supporting our teams. And I really liked her line of, just because we own the teams doesn't mean we control them, or just because we control the teams doesn't mean we own them. Something like that. It was really good. I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was really great. And I kind of wish you kind of kept the part where she rejects Rupert, because he needed that schooling. He really needed that. You can do this? No. But
I could put it in.
I thought she did a really great job advocating for the fans. And I agree. I love how she was like, "Is this a fucking joke? Are you kidding me? What do you think this is?" I thought she did great. And she really touched Rupert when she reminded him of when he was a kid and he really liked football and he really wanted to go see these games, but he couldn't afford it. And so if they do this elite team, they're going to lose so many fans who won't be able to actually go to the games. And I was like, yeah, Rebecca, let them know. And then she got food thrown on her. So
that's
also,
why we don't ever say
note,
shit. Yeah.
When Roy was trying to write that note to Keely,
Yeah.
his handwriting, atrocious.
He's not good, no.
It was so bad. I love him, but I was like, wow, that handwriting was.
Another sign that he's neurodivergent or has a learning disability. When you see poor handwriting like that or handwriting like mine, it means learning disability. Also, a really good sign someone could be neurodivergent.
Well, he also.
I just thought some people just have bad handwriting. I just think some people just have bad handwriting.
If they have handwriting that's very bad, you should start to think of a learning disability. Just as a heads
he
up.
also said he hated school and
Yeah, if you had a learning disability, I'm sure you did.
Well, I mean, soccer was his thing. Like when you play soccer in Europe, you go when you're 15 or some shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're a pro at that age. And then so it's like, why I don't need to go back to school. I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
One of my friends with a learning disability, her handwriting, amazing.
Sure.
It is.
Maybe both of yours are so bad that you think that hers is good.
No, I have good handwriting, so.
Don't you disrespect your handwriting.
Don't even try.
I tried to gaslight you. She's like, maybe it is bad. Maybe you're so delusional.
I know my handwriting's good. Nice try.
Yeah.
You gaslighting.
I'll take that away from you.
No, you won't. I've always had this.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Obviously, Rebecca is awesome in this speech. I will add in the part where she curves him. It just got in the way because Nate was there.
Nate the Great.
Yep. The Wonder Kid.
Wonder Kid.
I think it was awesome for Edwin to get rejected again. I think that she wanted to see if the league would go, and then she thought that, hell no, what am I doing? I talk to people, and a lot of people I know, they don't like sports. They're just like, oh man, this shit's a cult, and I don't know why would anyone like this, and all this competition so bad for people. I'm like, you realize this gives people life. Like when football season is going and basketball season is going, it gives me something to do and something to watch. If I don't play fantasy football with the boys, like last year I didn't do it because I was so busy. The year was much more boring and depressing. I'm not going to lie. These fandoms allow us and rejuvenate us and give us something to live for. And when you have a shitty owner, like the Clippers did, that was also a racist, or like the Suns did, like Washington does, that's a sexual misconduct and assault and workplace issues and racial issues, it perseverates through the entire organization and into the city, into the community. It is like a curse.
Yeah.
When you look at the Lions that were, well, this will be controversial, but people like me think they were cursed by Henry Ford because of many of his racial issues that he perpetuated, and how there was many things that a certain German thought that Henry Ford was a very intelligent man and had his picture on the wall, Hitler, and took a lot of his eugenics.
Oh, I was so confused.
Certain German man.
Right. Now my Bronco's not going to work. Thanks a lot. Just breaks down. Just be like, Darren.
I'm telling you, I've always had the feeling that we were cursed because of Henry Ford, but you know,
but wait a minute, hold on a second. You can't say that because then you also won championships for the NBA and shit.
That was the Pistons, different owner.
Here we go.
We're talking about owners. We're talking about
it's
owners.
Still Detroit, bro. It's still Detroit.
We're talking about owners, though. The Lions owner cursed. Now it's under new owners. So we're talking about owners and how it can perseverate through a thing. Rupert, his personality perseverated through everything. Terrible human.
Right.
Terrible human. I love. FYI, Rupert used to be good, and then he changed to bad. I wonder what the hell made him change to bad. Was it just greed and the money in women?
Probably. That's usually how it goes.
That adds up.
Yeah. I mean, because even Rebecca, like in the early season, talked about how like he would be kind of controlling about what she wore and stuff
and
like
food.
that. Yeah. And so I think that's usually the thing is like when you get greed, then it's like your whole personality changes and then, starts like bad cycles over and over again. But he's getting older. So I think that's why you could kind of see him getting like softer a little bit, especially when he's like around Rebecca and stuff like that, especially now. And then he has like a kid and then all that shit. And then you're like, what the hell, dude?
It could also be some regret because, like, seeing that him and Rebecca are done, she's doing great. She's doing big things. Like, well, shit, messed that up. And then also not being in charge of Rebecca's team anymore. So he's like, man, I messed up twice. Like, look at them now. Look at Richmond. They're killing the game. What the heck?
And they were. And when he left, they were the epitome of mediocrity. And so that's interesting too. But they made Rupert to just be horrific. The way he pushed that coach at the end, where he got in trouble or indicted for sexual assault charges and he's losing the team. Like they made him to be pretty much the Washington Redskins owner, Dan Snyder. Yeah, they made him be. I don't even remember that guy's name for the Clippers, but they turned him into that guy from the Clippers.
Wasn't it like Donald something?
Yeah, Sterling, Don Sterling.
Was it Donald Sterling? I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Suns owner also bad. There's a lot of bad owners out there. I remember the owner for the women's team for Atlanta, and the women were like, "Nah, you're getting out of here." She was a mayor too in that town, I think, or an elected official.
Oh, wow.
She ended up losing her government job because everyone voted against her in the next race.
Wow.
Intense.
Crazy.
Sports are powerful. Go ahead.
Oh boy.
Can I say something before we, like, especially with Donald Sterling, that shit pissed me off really bad because not only did he not, like, he had to sell his team, but also he got like billions of dollars for the team.
Billions.
Right. So he gets rewarded for his remarks and the things that he said and all that. And they're like, oh, well, he's not an owner anymore. It's like, he's still a billionaire. Why do I give a shit that he owns the Clippers? I didn't even know he was the owner in the first place. Like, whatever. So that's just my little rant, I guess, about it, because it's just like, it's bullshit that, we're like, oh, well, he's out of the NBA. So what? He got billions of dollars for
something that
one little thing.
Couple million. He had a couple million in it. Well, by a couple million, like probably 200-300 million. 400 million, and then he got like I think anywhere from 3 to 4 billion. Same thing with Daniels. Yeah, and then same thing with the Reds, the Washington Commanders owner. He's going to get tore off, and he is legit a terrible person. But they can't just strip him of the team, I guess, and so they're going to get money. The good thing is, I guess, everyone in the organization moving forward will be in a better situation. But you're right, he will get paid. Where everyone else will lose money, but these owners, they get money.
Yeah. And that's kind of the problem too, is like, I wish they had some type of clause that they have for players that if you act a certain way, then you have to get rid of your team and you don't get paid.
Correct.
Like, same thing with like Ja Morant. Like he has he probably has some clause in there.
Yep, they all
Kanye
do.
West had a clause too, being like, hey, you can't say all this crazy shit or else we can get rid of you. And so I think the same thing should be going towards owners of teams because it's ridiculous. They get to do all this shit and then they get paid for it.
No,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Like Rupert, he loses his team, but what they don't tell you is that he loses his team, probably has to sell it and gets tore off.
Yeah. And he probably loses money in like a divorce and shit like that. But at the same time, he's still getting money.
Still get money. Yeah. Yeah, interesting things. Nate, I thought was Nate and Leslie, neurodivergent bingo. I mean that with love. Leslie, obviously, because the way he acts, the anxiety, the Tourette's that he has, the inability to speak and perseverate, stutters and stammers under his breath a lot, kind of poor eye contact, also one of the most loving souls that there is, and sees the goodness in everyone, and everyone kind of goes to his house to eat. Boy, if I could be someone in that story, I would love to be fucking Leslie. I would die happy being that man in that show. A wonderful partner that loves him. They're both odd as shit. Then everyone just comes to the house to eat. Oh my God, there's literally, if I was to have a goal and a dream, or my November, which we did a podcast a long time ago, it would be fucking Leslie. It would not be the money or the sports player and all that. Like all the players coming to the crib to eat. Oh yeah. That feels good. Yeah. I'm just full thinking about it. I need to take 2 antacids thinking about it. I'm telling you. And then the neurodivergent part of Nate, boy, he was so anxious or OCD, he couldn't even talk. No. Couldn't even talk. And so I run into his social anxiety was so bad. His phobias were so bad. His inability to have any conversation or reciprocity was literally impossible. And he was a genius. He was this magnificent mind, and he plays the violin. And so there's all these gifts that he has. Part of being neurodivergent, usually very gifted, highly intelligent, can see things very visually or very different in other ways. Leslie, also gifted with an instrument. Highly intelligent person, also does keep a lot of things in, but also very vulnerable as well. Being neurodivergent is multi-layered, multifaceted. It is not just one thing. It's not just Roy Kent. It is not just Jamie just being an idiot and drinking himself into a stupor. And lastly, Ted thinks different, doesn't get too close to people. Everyone loves him, thinks in metaphors, thinks of movie quotes, thinks of song quotes. Ain't no neurotypical people talking like him and just quoting random shit. And as Spencer brought to my attention, obviously Beard is an avid reader, doesn't say much, and when he does say shit, it's just random as fuck.
Yeah.
Also, if him and Ted are best friends, they're both probably neurodivergent together.
Yeah, they both were kind of losers on the, not losers, but they were, on the like third string, like kickers on their football team.
Oh, that's right.
That's how they came about. Yeah.
Bonding.
Yeah. I just thought it would be cool to play a little neurodivergent bingo. I saw some dude's Instagram post the other day. He said, "You love everything about me and I'm different." It's the tism.
It's the tism.
And people just don't want to admit it, that the different things that you enjoy about me are related to some other things. I thought it was pretty cool. That person actually will be joining our podcast relatively soon. So the Rebecca scene.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Her ability to control the room, to visualize them being smaller, to speak her truth. Magnificent.
Yeah.
Magnificent. I sadly, in the real world, though, I think all of them would choose the money. Yep. I think they would all choose the money, especially in America. There's really not like a league system like Europe, where everything's embedded in these small towns and communities. Europe, it's like, I showed you that Lofton FC team. That like that place is literally part of the houses.
Right.
It's not how it is in America, right? We don't even, if our team sucks, we don't even go to the games.
No.
Some of the attendance for the NBA is like 30%. Just interesting to think about Europe versus here, the culture of athletics. I love everything about this show. I even love the third season, and some people won't like that I said that, but I even love the third season.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought they ended it very well, and
Mhm.
you can't end it any other way, honestly, because it's like you have to get closure, and I felt like we got that with everybody.
Everywhere.
And whether they do like spin-offs, which they probably will, because like I said, made too much money. It's like at least we have characters that we can go by, or maybe we just get a new batch of characters that we can really like. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
I think it also was like just like a stop while you're ahead, because there's so many shows where like the first 2, 3, 4 seasons are great, and then you get to season 8 and you're like,
Yep.
all right. So I feel like, yes, I'd love another season, but I also understand that like they ended it the best way that they could with 3 seasons, and it's nice, crisp, clean. All right.
Well done.
And also British shows, like they end like 1 or 2 seasons. Like that's usually how they go. Like they don't do like 6 seasons usually. They do like 1 or 2. If you do more than 2 or 3, you're like franchise. Like they're just keeping it going.
Yeah. In America, it's always 7 seasons in a movie. Isn't that what they always said in Community? 7 seasons in a movie.
Or is it 6 seasons in a movie? I think it's
6 seasons, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he only wanted to do a few seasons on it. And this was the story that he wanted to tell, and he told his story. And he did it well along with that cast and crew. And I love that there's a lot of neurodivergent, OCD, anxious characters. I love the mental health. Love the awareness. This show, as many people have commented on our podcast, has saved lives. Has normalized anxiety, panic attacks, daddy issues. Yeah. We all got a little bit of daddy issues now.
I also love the fact that this show just came together from Jason Sudeikis doing a character for like the World Cup or some shit like that. Like it was just a character they made up, and then they just did a show off of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. It was. I've recommended this to many therapists to watch now since I've seen it, and I've recommended to clients to watch because I think it's a must. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying this will go down as one of the greatest sports franchises in history.
Why don't you tell them who told you about the show?
Ooh, I love when you get the mic close to your mouth. It's all like sensual.
Calm the fuck
Hey,
down.
calm down. He's mine. Side.
Fucking cat in heat. You remind me of that cat in like Feifel Goes West. I'll send you the clip. It's so funny. You remind me of that fucking cat. But yeah, why don't you tell him who fucking told you all about Ted Lasso and took you about like 4 fucking years.
I know it was. It was Jack Skabopoulos.
Yeah, Skabopoulos.
Skabopoulos, don't you forget it.
Yeah, he's
Snoogle
Polish,
reference.
man.
Well, you also told me to watch it, babe.
I know. I tell people to watch things, and I'm good.
Yeah, to be fair, everything that Spencer has told me to watch, I have gotten to, and we have done a pod on it.
Yeah. Let's see the time frame, especially when it's like, I have to compete with beef. I'm like, beef, motherfucker? Really?
Yeah, beef.
Ted Lasso, beef? Come on.
Beef.
Ted Lasso every time.
I had to get beef in there.
I'm so angry. We got it.
All right.
Spencer's like, how dare you show emotions?
That's right. All right.
We did it.
I think
Free
we're good here. I
podcast.
think we've. Oh wait, before we do that, favorite characters. Let's say favorite characters.
Oh.
Number 1. You can only pick one. Yep, that's right. I'm doing it. Nope. Pick it. You go first.
You go first. Someone else go first. I don't know. I have to think about it. I want to choose right.
Okay, fine. I'll go Roy. I'm a big Roy fan. Even though he has times where he fucks up, he always takes responsibility for it. And his growth, being just like an old player, old grumpy player. Now he's like the coach, and he's actually giving people like time to actually get to know him instead of just being like, fuck. So I'll just say Roy, my favorite character.
I already said who I would want to be. I think I would die happy being Leslie. But there's something about Sam and his voice and his articulation is
goddamn monologue.
I'm telling you, man, Sam. It's Sam all the way. I am very gay for Sam. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I gathered that.
Yeah.
Gathered that.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't want to say Roy because you said Roy. I'm going to pick someone else. I want to be different. So I think the next one, especially within the last couple seasons, would have to be Jamie for me. I really liked his character development.
He's hot as
I liked
shit.
the bond he created.
He's hot as shit.
He's just hot as fuck.
Yes. Can't confirm.
Oh, my lanta, my pampers.
Always turns into a black woman.
Southern woman.
Jesus.
Mhm,
That was a white Southern
same.
woman.
That was black. That was black.
That was black as hell.
But I also like his relationship with Roy. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I just thought he was cool. Like the last couple seasons. The first season he was such a dick. I was like, get out of here. But then he really grew on me. Like he really grew on me.
Anyone have like a least favorite character at all? Like, not Rupert. You can't say Rupert. That's easy, right? You can't do that. Honestly, kind of Keely for me. She kind of took a step back. Like, don't get me wrong. I like her personality and stuff like that, but she hasn't really I don't know. She hasn't really changed much. Like she's always kind of the same person, which is fine, but she's kind of meh. It's like
I think a lot of people are actually. I think people were actually. They complained about her story arc because they said, "What was her story about? She never got to really evolve, and she kind of got poo-pooed on." A lot of people complained about her story arc and the way the writers did her, and then they gave her a little bit of a happy ending where she got her own company. I think they kind of did her dirty, her character.
I think they kind of needed her, at least like her personality, to kind of stay the same because she was one of the few people who could like get through to Roy and get through to Jamie. So I really appreciated her character for that and kind of just like some relief for those tougher scenes. I appreciated for her for that. I thought she was fun and quirky. I was like, all right,
she was. Same. I liked it. She was the neurodivergent kid.
Like I liked her.
Yeah.
Like I liked her because of her personality, but it was kind of just like there was nothing making her like going up until like the end of like the first season, and then it was kind of just like staying here, kind of going down when she got with fucking what's her face. I was like, really?
Yeah, they blew her story arc. A lot of people on Twitter complained about it because they could have gassed her up a lot, and she rescinded. I actually don't know if I have a character I dislike the most. I mean, I could go Nate because and how mad and how angry he made me, but the turnaround, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're all great in their own respect.
Yeah,
maybe
they each got something where you're like,
maybe it'd be Danny Rojas for me because he never got any evolution either. He just stayed peppy and that was it.
And then he got angry for like an episode and then back to normal.
They didn't do much with him at all.
Well, I mean, kind of when he was like, he hated after he killed the dog and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's that. So there was a time where he was like depressed and then he got like two women on his arms.
I know.
Living the life.
Like,
His story arc wasn't
Danny.
that wild either. He kind of just stayed the same too.
Yeah.
Again,
it's hard.
He was just the relief that was needed when the tough stuff happened. So appreciated.
I hated them all at times, and I loved them all at times. It's hard to answer it, brother.
Yeah, that's fine.
Other than Rupert, it's hard to answer it. I even love the dudes at the pub. The three knuckleheads at the pub and the bartender, the owner.
Yeah,
I
And
love
May.
May.
Actually, there's one character I hate more than any of them. It's Ted's wife. She was the worst person.
Dr. Jacob.
Ever. And Dr. I
didn't like him.
Them.
Dr. Jacob, goodbye.
They were both terrible because she got with her therapist, not even just her therapist, her fucking couples therapist, which that is.
They were doing couples counseling together with Dr. Jacob.
Like, that's fucking low.
That was rough.
I didn't even see that.
It's like, out of all the people, you chose him. Like, I understand like bonding and shit, but that's a whole different type of bonding. That's not,
bro.
That's not what
that's
you're
so
supposed to be doing.
toxic. And I didn't even know he was the
That's a
therapist.
huge ethical no-no. Like,
And of course, it's a dude getting with the woman too. They always shit on dudes as therapists, man.
Yeah,
they make us all look like perverts.
Yeah, and it's not great. And then of course, I mean, I just think that she was probably like one of the worst characters and shit. Like, and she was like trying to make it work, but not really. And so I would probably say she's probably my most hated character for the show.
Okay.
Because she's like, Ted is just so nice. How dare you?
As a therapist,
Dr.
you
Jacob
cannot
is
do
pretty
that
low.
with clients. It doesn't matter if they were a previous client, if they're a current client, you don't do that.
Yeah.
And when he was like, "Oh, can't wait to watch a game and for it to end 0-0," and Ted's son was like, "This."
No, it was intense. Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Tired.
Take us out.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching. Like we said before in the beginning, go to the link tree.
Check
we
it out.
got a bunch of great stuff. Go check out the free apps and worksheets.
Yep.
All in the Google Drive that Nas created. And if you can, go tip. Also, we have a new sponsor or collaboration with Bubs Naturals. They have so many different great natural ingredient things like collagen powder, MCT powder, apple vinegar,
Apple cider vinegar.
apple cider vinegar gummies. There it is. This has a mouth time. Great things for your health. They also have like merch and things like that. Use our code DSP20 to get 20% off. Yes, and then that would help us out a lot. And so, go check them out. They have great stuff. We're going to be doing some posts about them probably in the near future. But so great things coming. Thank you, Dom, for coming on to the show.
Me. And Bubs is spelled B-U-B-S.
Yes, B-U-B-S. So it's bubsnaturals.com, B-U-B-S.
I do naturals.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm Spencer. That's Nas, the Different Spectrums podcast. Go buy our merch. Blah, 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 blah. There you go.
Much love, everyone. Peace.
Bye. Ooh, represent.